Saturday night, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, Ray, but it was an awesome game.
That was so fun. Like, it was, I can't believe, like, the change in Montreal this year. And for a guy that both Noodles and I played with, and he was one of the funniest humans, or is, in Marc Bergevin. Some of his moves over the last couple of years, you go, man, this team's not getting better, it's getting worse. He says after last year, this is about attitude. We can be better fast. And quietly, they changed 8 players on the roster. And, man, they don't even look like anything like last year's team. I'm amazed, honestly, how fast they are. Because last year, eventually Toronto would have run them over with speed. And that it would have just happened. But everything looks different. Their style of play is different. They don't fiddle around with that D-to-D pass and nice and slow up the other side. Man, it's up the ice. It's fast. It's the goalie is back to being all-world Carey Price. I thought the game was awesome. It felt like one of those February playoff game. You're like, wow, where did that come from? That was great.
Well, if that ends up happening and they meet in the first round, I would assume home ice will factor into this. Let's say the Leafs end up with home ice. Vegas would have the Maple Leafs as a favorite, but would they be a moderate favorite, a heavy favorite? I mean, play odds makers for us, Ray, based on what we know today, Leafs versus Habs in a 7-game series.
So we're thinking about it as like the season just played, like the season ended today.
Right. Game 1 tonight. Game 1. This roster on both sides. Game 1 tonight.
I would say Leafs small favorite.
Okay.
But a favorite. Not a pick 'em. I would pick them to win the series. They don't have the goaltending. I would say I'll say it's a wash. The defense. We don't love Toronto's defense, although it's been better than it has been since Muzzin's arrived. But Montreal doesn't have a great defense. And then up front, I think Toronto's got a couple more game breakers. But I would think it would be fun and super fast and really intense. And man, that would be a fun series to have.
Yeah, it really would be. I don't think you can go wrong. If it's Montreal or Boston, the storylines kind of write themselves, and I would expect a pretty lengthy series in both scenarios.
Yeah.
I think based on history, if it's Leafs-Bruins, the Bruins would probably be favored. Regardless of where we sit on April 10th, people would just say, well, history. Boston has their number, and history would dictate that it's going to get to 7. The Leafs will have the lead in the third period, and they'll lose somehow. But with Montreal, I think it's a little bit – that's a pretty jaded statement, huh?
That really was.
I think I've been down this road before, only a couple of times. But either way, you can't really go wrong. And Habs-Bruins, I mean, there's an incredible recent history, let alone the long-standing history between those two teams.
I think when they went to the divisions, this is kind of what they were hoping for, like when they redid the divisions in the playoff format. Too many times, though, it's not that. There's, the newness of a Toronto-Montreal series would kick it way over the top. These historical franchises that haven't played in 40 years, and man, that would be awesome. Then, of course, the recent history of the Bruins and the Bruins and the Leafs. But go to another division, and if Columbus plays Washington 4 years in a row, is that like stoking anybody up? Maybe, but not the same as this.